Greetings everyone, and welcome to, whatever this is, as far as the show goes. Not much of one, I grant, because I don't wanna. So instead, we're going to generate what many people wouldn't say is Dart to my designs as per an earlier request, babble a bit, and I don't know, maybe discuss everything gone strange. As you all know, we continue to live in very, very interesting times. Oh, and as if you were wanting 58008, they're still in the shop. I was going to let them again. I was almost there, almost on it. And then I got distracted. And then I forgot. And now they're not going to share well. Oh no. Whoopsie doodles. Let's see, greetings in chat too. Nexus Hunter, Snoopy 700, Cog the Brutal, K Shull, Octane Junkie, Cog the Brutal, and Carlos Fish. There we go. I think we've just about covered that up. I've been going through some of my old stuff, and I'm thinking I might like to see if I can't get one of my forgotten pieces on set here. This won't take a moment. Please continue laughing at Biden's national embarrassment while I take care of this. Right. I cannot type. Yeah, that was an extraordinary debate and train wreck. Greetings in chat to Assassin the Grey. I saw it. I shouldn't have. It took me well past when I should have shut down typically, but it was a spectacular and unforgettable train wreck of global proportions. What baffles me is that now that the authorities have given people permission to acknowledge the clearly senile puppet king, some of them are having a hard time letting go of the programming, aren't they? But at the same time, they're all still pretending that this is some sort of surprise. As if we hadn't seen quite clearly, he was out of his gourd. Oh, up to a decade ago. Bit cross about that, perhaps just a bit. See, down. Aha, here it is. As I recall, I actually gave this directly, a copy of it, to Omegon, and then immediately forgot I'd made it. But I remember now, so I'm going to show it off. Why? Because I can. That's a sort of spurious reason that I don't typically take advantage of. But perhaps I should. Right, how are you all? As it happens, Rumble crashed because there was somebody watching. Yeah, this is great for Rumble. It's only a shame no one really shows up to see things when I'm there. I suppose people go to these things for certain precise reasons. Rumble is for something slightly closer to politics that observes reality in any way, shape, or form. Twitch is, of course, gaming and e-thoughts, whereas YouTube is, well, I suppose it's... What is good on YouTube these days? It's not SideQuest right now, that's on hiatus. I would like to say me, but I'm not quite that arrogant. Thoughts in chat. Hey, by the way, I believe I've rigged up how to play anything here. So if there's a video or some meme you found really amusing, feel free to use the Ark Labs Reserve Discord server, or if you have a wrench, to pop the link in chat and I'll play it. We can contemplate together. I have a request actually. I would love you to find your best share your best examples of metaphors for that last debate. I was sent one, I believe Devil Pop tipped me off to it. I'm not sure, though. Where there was about a 5-second cartoon clip that basically predicted how the debate would go. Only it had more efforts at fact-checking than the debate did. Uh-oh, I'm playing the wrong background music. And I hate it. But it's easily fixed. And so it is. Oh, you're quite welcome, Octane Junkie. Indeed, it is. At some point in the near future, if it hasn't already happened. I don't want to be precise, even if I properly knew, because I'm paranoid. And feel compelled to be paranoid for others, too. But it's their birthday coming, so if you're inclined to wish Octane Junkie happy birthday, please feel free. Oh, yes. Fact-checking from a lot of the crowd, or from all the people that CNN is hurriedly trying to get struck off the internet, occurred. Lots of fact-checking. I was a bit annoyed when I was watching the debate. I watched, first off, the InfoWars coverage, and I fully understand why Alex Jones felt compelled to talk over Biden. And he did. He could not shut up whenever Biden started to ramble. You see why you chased hearing it? Certainly, not many people really enjoyed hearing Biden say anything. But if one's trying to view it objectively, they might notice it didn't help him. The more time Biden was given to talk, the deeper he dug himself. He put himself a full 6 feet under. It could have only gone a bit worse if he'd passed out or visibly shit himself. Maybe. Where we go from here, though, is something that does quite bug me, because I actually believe that it was his own people who set him up for this. They can't possibly have expected it to go better. I suppose some of them felt like taking on a challenge and had a huge amount of faith in the drugs they pumped him full of. You know, the cold medication now to blame for his inability to be coherent, or for his deranged crowing over his victory over Medicare. Weird stuff. Oh, yes. Some people treated this as a drinking game. I hope those people are still with us. Oh, yes. Yes. They placed a huge bet on Trump's behavior. He called their bluff, raised, and won big. Bigly. You would say that, Karis, but quite frankly, if you'd played the drinking game that way, even you would have been either hurling into the toilet or on your way to the hospital, have your stomach pumped by the end. I did not drink while watching the debate. And I'm glad for that. Although I probably would have found it a lot funnier if I had. Okay, well, I can only assume I have underrated your total alcohol tolerance, or alternatively, the rules for your drinking game on the debate were sufficiently strict. That really need to be. We're up 12 likes, surprisingly. One more like, and I will consider this a success. All right, let's see. Now, last time I started to arbitrarily generate art. Actually, no, not last time. Last time I got carried away with creating a pseudo thief doing a fan dance, which I've been assured by Rebo Jones did not take offense to it, or at least was too busy to look at it at all. So we'll probably be fine. Probably. Besides, I didn't even use the face for it. I was probably worrying about too much. We're going to drink every time Biden stumbled on what he was saying. Oh God, yes. Oh man, I saw a lot of rules for a drinking game for that debate, and I can only imagine they changed the rule as they went on. Let's see. Director Arketer, she's consulting with her lawyers right now. Which? Oh, Weibo. Probably not. Probably not. Right. I believe it was Nexus Hunter who, two of whatever these shows are prior, requested a showdown image between myself and the Swine of Sarthos, Arcturus the Black Compass. I've been busy working on that, namely by trying to make a, well, proper arena for it. I was envisioning something like Mortal Kombat. So, we go back to a sci-fi versus fantasy theme for that. I think this might be our winning image. I'm about to pull it up and add the special ingredient. Terrible cropped images of myself and that other dismal character. Stand by. I'm probably regretting not bringing 58 on. They're great for filling air. Problem is that they just keep trying to take over the show. And no, I'm happy to have an AI co-host, but I'm not going to hand over the entire show. I probably should have loaded them up. Technically not too late. But I really hate the dead air necessary to do it. So instead, I'm going to focus on making this art and showing you what I'm up to. First off, we converted one of these into a simple setup, thus seen here. Next, we're going to add the special ingredients. Where did they go? Aha! First off, we have the Black Compass. Next up, let's get them approaching the same size. And we see about trying to unscrew what I've done here. What have I set the setting to? Let's check that. 1280 by 768. And once I save this, no. Also, as a fun side note, Microsoft keeps on trying to trick me into using their OneDrive Personal. I refuse. I'm also not very pleased with the fact they've made it impossible to default to Paint 3D recently. That could be a bug, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just felt it was a little too good for the peasants. We do get a lot of that these days, it would seem. Pardon 1 second, I will catch up on chat, assuming there's anything to catch up on. I wouldn't know, I haven't looked yet, in just a moment. That's all. I can fix this. I just need to try to rotate my face to where it looks like I'm actually looking somewhere in approximately the right direction. Let's see, what was I? Finally beaten it. Yeah, that was absolutely a gold standard. I believe he did say brand at one point, which slipped quite past. What I find really funny regarding the debate is they're now trying to say, Trump just lied. And there were a lot of mind-broken people on Twitter who I follow in Safari rules. I don't interact with them, I just watch them dribble. Who were saying, Biden just should have said, no, you're a liar. That was their unironic advice. And it's all they wanted to hear. But I know for a fact that there were almost no honest words coming from the senile puppet. Not that necessarily Trump was right about everything either, but the comparison is stark. And it's been really funny watching the spin doctors try to bring it around, because you have them going, okay, well, Biden was sort of wrong on these things that he was completely wrong about, and they spent the next 30 minutes screaming angrily about everything Trump was slightly off on, trying to compensate with anger what they lack to work with in substance. Oh yes, yes. There's a significant portion of the mind broken who have gotten permission or have otherwise decided to finally acknowledge that he's senile. I suppose at this point they have to do that or accept finally that he's dishonest. But the history of his political career has made that very obvious. He's always has been incredibly dishonest. You know, some people were saying, oh, it's so sad. I mean, it's elder abuse. Look at that poor old man. And I do not. I do not agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Yes, it is elder abuse, but he chose it every step of the way. His entire dismal career had been leading up to this very thing. Thus, I have no particular pity for the old man, and I don't personally feel anyone else needs to either. He's not, nor was ever, and I would say his offspring kind of really stressed that, a particularly good person. You know, I think we might have something here. What were those numbers I was reading earlier? 1280 by 768. 768. OBS has been briefly disconnected. I hope I haven't lost anyone. Are we back? Alex Jones says that Joe agreed to stepping down first, but now wants power, as does Jill. Yes, I imagine Joe can be made to say absolutely anything, especially by Jill, who someone pointed out was his babysitter and remains his babysitter still. Also, some people noted that her behavior in promoting him is kind of aggressive. I think it's entirely possible she might be enjoying his discomfort just a bit. To which I mentioned to someone that shouldn't be too surprising. Can you personally imagine being married to Joe Biden? I imagine if you stay married to Joe Biden in a short manner of time, you're probably gonna have some bones to pick. Well, I would rather be dead, Court Boodle. I choose death. Thank you very much. It's irrelevant, though, because I won't ever have to marry either of them. Yes, 1 second loss. Speaking 1 second loss, I remember that they did the math on exactly how much time was given to each candidate. It wasn't equal. Yes, I understand they gave, how many extra minutes? Minutes. Lots of extra minutes to Biden. And I'm glad they did, because once again, for the same reason Alex Jones shouldn't have spoken over him, they should have given him all the time He just kept burying himself deeper, didn't he? Maybe he's now old enough, on some level, he yearns for the grave. Okay, to make this work, I now need to basically re-engineer these. For, despite my best efforts, there's always a slight trace of something that shouldn't be there. Plus, let's be fair, I've given myself a service. I've equipped Arketer, as this happens, with a nice sword and shield, none less than the Needle of the Compass, a sword I'm glad will default to my custody. If you didn't know, the reason Arketer has this blade, what is called the Needle of Compass, or the Nazi, is Arcane Junkie, who has done much to swell my armory, and it is deeply appreciated. Okay, let's see if I can go for Mad Scientist with a jetpack and a head melter. No, not a mad scientist. Super scientist. Well, I'm going to try for it. We'll see. I call time by the looks. You know, the short answer is dementia. Kind of the key thing there, in fact. Oh, I've screwed this up. But not severely. Okay, I was hoping it'd put a gun in my hand. Instead, it just made me a thalidomide baby. That's not ideal. Jetpack isn't half bad, though. That's nice. Let's try this again. Some more precise masking, I think, will help. Also, a better picture. Where is it? There we go. Right, let's try this again. All the director needs is a black... You know, that is a fun idea, but I did have a theme of science fiction versus fantasy. 12 minutes or so, yeah, sounds about right. I see the bit where the last was mentioning where... I'm not entirely sure, but I did see a wonderful clip where someone was squeaking rubber ducky and Vine was smiling. It was just... you know what? I'm going to show it. Because I can.
But that's what you call. But that's what you call them. That we've ever had. They can't stand it. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real...
Someone's trying to keep his morale up during the debate. And it worked. Why, he really perked up there for a second, didn't he? It's like a puppy video. Only it's the senile president of the United States of America.
That we've ever had. They can't stand it. So let's get that
Old
straight.
people can be cute.
And they like me more
Can't
than
they?
just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real...
Well, it looks like I got a bat cannon here. That's not too bad. What else we got? Better, less death ray, more doomsday device, Geiger counter. I guess nice subtle jetpack in the back. I like that. That too. Same. I think we can do better though. Perhaps? Well, one more time. Communist and Zionist rights in France tonight. Le Pen's party won. And they made it the Prime Minister spot. One hopes, although I don't think Macron is going to go that smoothly. One hopes though. As for the riots, well, I know Alex Jones is very concerned that the next step for the criminals is some manner of false flag. So we might see something similar here, only ostensibly for us. You know, one article I didn't load up, but really should have, is that I understand there's been some breaking news about the FBI's effort to create a far right-wing terror organization. Basically confirming that everyone saw those videos of those guys wearing curiously similar attire who looked like they glow in the dark. Yeah, that's because they would. Massively glowy. Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected, Arcane Junkie. I admit, I am perhaps not that familiar with even the French governmental structure. But I would like to see Macron gone. I'm pretty sure, rather confident, he's not on our side, or humanity's side, in a meaningful way. I would wager it. Okay, let's see what this set came up with. Looks more like I'm wearing a backpack. That's a bit more rocketish. That is actually more proton packish, but I like it. I might keep it regardless. You know, let's go with the proton packish one. To capitalize on this, we'll make that the new base. Clear the mask and try to get to focus. Focus, damn you! On a death ray of some sort. Why? Because I feel no obligation whatsoever to be fair to Arcturus here. Beta receptors are all freaking out. You know, you say that, Bishop, but what concerns me at present is that, well, hold on. Let me read Quad Brutal's comment first. Please, if you want to be sure that I personally read your comments, if you would go ahead and tag me, it'll help me focus. Honestly, I'm not as concerned about this election. It's going to be a shit show one with the other. It's the election in 2028 I'm concerned about. That's when we'll see the biggest pendulum swing. Yes, Korg the Brutal, I am right there with you on that point. This election is going to be important, disturbing, a colossal mess in a lot of ways. But it's not the one that worries me most. What worries me most is what the hell are we going to see on offer in 2028? I think we have some hope that Trump can win, but I am not convinced the mending to the electoral system has taken place yet that needs to be there to ensure that we can trust votes are legitimately cast. I would just like some assurance on that. Because if that's not legit or even plausible, we're in for a mess no matter who wins. There's only one thing that particularly worries me right now. I think it's entirely possible. This was set up. Biden, at this point, his handlers, his ignorant puppeteers, they were all set up. This was a very unusual debate. It wasn't supposed to happen this early. Something was moved up. It was moved up for a reason. And there are two major ideas right now. They just run Biden through anyway, force a win, or they force Biden through anyway and lose, or they try to, at the last possible minute, replace him with someone they think would be more plausible to win. None of these are great options. There's a third option, but I don't think it'll happen. I don't think they're going to take out Orange Badman. At least, not yet. Whether or not that happens at all, I feel might hinge on his VP pick. There's one particularly worrisome choice he could make, and I don't know if he's clever enough to avoid it. I really don't. He's certainly in the new gold standard for presidencies for the past, I don't know, 6 presidents or so. But, well, he's just a mortal man like any of us, save where we're mortal women. You get the idea. I have screwed up. Let's try for blaster ray gun held in hand. I've also scrubbed the masking again. I must not touch the Arkelab's badge. The program does not understand or recognize what that badge is, and it will not, if given the chance, preserve it. Such is the flaw of the system. I could see you revamping the Boba Fett kit for personal use. Well, I might as well. I don't think Boba Fett's going to get much use for it anymore. Not after that show. It is really quite tragic, the saga of Boba Fett. I watched it. It was good for a span, but when the very person depicting the character tells you, very much in violation of what you would expect an actor to say, that his character is talking too much, as a director, I would think, I'm not a film expert, I'm not that kind of director, but I think that you should listen. You should take that very seriously. When the actor playing Boba Fett says that Boba Fett's talking too much, he's probably talking too much. That, however, was not what really killed the Boba Fett series, in my opinion. What killed the Boba Fett series is he suffered this crippling mental disease where he turned into a complete idiot the moment there's anyone with boobs in the scene at all. He went from being a hyper-competent bounty hunter to a bumbling oaf who can't even fly his own ship. which is no one called save one because, you know, very sensitive. Okay, we're at 12 likes. I feel like I'm being taunted. Let's see, do we have a reasonable blaster in hand? Well, that could work. That's close enough to working. I think we can refine it. So anyways, it started blasting. I suppose we'll have to, if we're going to theoretically try to balance this fight a bit, we'll pretend that Arketer's sword and shield have been thoroughly enchanted in some... Well, I'm not going to say a favor from Agog because those guys hate each other. I expect he would probably throw gold at the problem. That sounds like an Arketer's thing to do. Throw money at it until the problem goes away. Okay, I think we need some good options here. And then I can try to blend this into this set a bit better. That will probably happen in the upscaling. I doubt... Yeah, AOC is not going to swing it. AOC cannot pull off, if you're suggesting they might be the ones swapped in. If they put AOC in a bikini and pop in some implants, it would not make her any more tolerable, really, for a presidential candidate. Mind you, it wouldn't be a significant downgrade in her dignity. I mean, she was an actress to begin with. She answered the casting call. And here we are. Oh, by the way, let me tell you some embarrassing things about myself while I'm in the process of generating these images that can be boiled down to a shameful image of me playing with myself. Their work's safe. Technically, you could say that. I don't know why I would tell you could dare. I'm my worst enemy sometimes, which makes this very meta. What I was saying was, has anyone seen Kyle Kulinski recently? Way back in the olden days when I was a young fool who thought that Bernie Sanders might have actually been sincere about something. I came to listen to Secular Talk with Kyle Kulinski. I find it very funny that he's starting to look like a pimp with his bleached blonde hair and what seems to be like an early onset terror of his own mortality, which is plausible. I remember that he was very instrumental in backing AOC, part of Justice Democrats' efforts. Okay, I think we'll take one more close look at these and pick... Ooh, I kind of like the style of this particular blaster. There's still something wrong with the hand, but that can be fixed later on. That's not bad. That's not really being held in the hand at all. That looks more like a taser. Ooh. Okay, I like that. The one looks more like a taser. I was going to ask which one you like. Well, actually, one of those might have a better strap. You know what? I'm going to go with the taser. I hope no one minds. No one had any strong feelings on this, I hope? Because if you did, that would be really silly, for one. Oh, by the way, if there's anyone in chat, a fellow creator perhaps, who has a microphone handy, or some other acquaintance who's been on here before, feel free to pop into the green room via the Arc Labs Reserve, Volunteer Reserve Discord server. I'm willing to share the stage. It's not like I'm going to split any money with you, is it? Just knowing it's an option, no pressure. Until the alarm pull lost the primary, I had no idea there were... I didn't realize he was a male squad member. Did he become a male squad member after pulling the fire alarm? Oh, well, thank you for the thought, Corp Poodle. I'm still working out exactly how I'm going to evolve, modify, and what show I want to embrace to thoroughly replace Article Wade with. This is basically that right now, but it's not really refined, is it? It's just the Article Wade, but I'm doing other stuff too, which I might keep. We'll call this the Faffing About show. No, that doesn't feel right either. I still want to do a self-destructing show where we play videos and such, and then immediately nuke it at the end of the show, so there's no record of it, just so no one can say I'm trying to steal their ad revenue. These options are perhaps not quite so promising. It still won't quite put it in hand, so to speak. That's close, though. We'll roll with that. Besides, we're running out of time. Let's see. We really aren't at 13 likes? Is that true? Feels like it should have been 13 by now. But we are down to 11 viewers, so I shouldn't be too surprised. Okay. How can we even this up a bit for poor Arcturus here? Belay that. I don't really care. The R&D stream. I like that. Oh, hey, if Cog the Brutal's seeing 13 likes. I shall take his word for it. The stream is now a success. Thank you all. The R&D stream. The audience? Research and development stream? You know, they might be, well... I suppose there's a small risk we'll get some very confused engineers in here. That said, who's really attempting to entertain the engineers? I don't think... I ever hope that. I'm just not that smart. I mean, I can get along with a lot of engineers. But to entertain them... Well, I'm trailing off. Focus! Focus me! Okay, that's interesting. Mac 10 favorite, we'll go with that. In hindsight, I think what we could use here are health bars. Let's see if we can get a health bar for myself. Yeah, I would expect a Mac 10 would hit better than a Agile. Would hope so. It'd be terribly embarrassing for a Mac 10 if it didn't. I don't think it's going to bother... Oh, I made a mistake again. And as far as I'm concerned, everyone should be armed. Especially in these ever so interesting times. These excessively comically interesting times. Because I'm terribly concerned they're just going to get more interesting. No one should want that. There's plenty of things to improve, though. Why, Alex Jones said that whatever happens next, the globalists have been defeated in this permutation. I'm not so confident. But I would like for him to be right. For once. not that he'd be right for once. I'd be glad for him to be right for once. Typically, most of the things Alex Jones has been absolutely correct about are all things I really, 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 really wish he had been wrong about. I don't hold this against Alex Jones. There are things that I have predicted that I really wish I hadn't gotten right. It's true, swords and flexes still have to be reloaded. If we do have a zombie apocalypse, and there are at least the slow-moving zombies, at least moderately slow-moving zombies, and all I have are the Nazi needle of the compass and the poleaxe, and of course my humble collection of armor, I'll probably be just fine. And I think it would be a smart thing to use the poleaxe. Hello. This has potential. Let's see if we can refine that a bit. And maybe we can force it to put in some text. Well, we say force, but we're not forcing it. I would say please, as per Cadunt's instructions, but I'm afraid this particular model might get confused and start working please into it. As in the word please, which would really confuse the whole fighting game, scene I'm going for. I'm overthinking this. The way they're posed right now, this does not look like the actual fight is underway. This is the loading screen. Versus! That's what we need! We need a big VS, versus, in the center. Fight! That would work. Let's see, I'll show you what is factor poleaxe. No, this poleaxe, I assure you, is absolutely capable of actual use, if you were in any doubt. Most of these weapons are closer to me at any given time than most of you might expect. Especially this one, always within reach. Perhaps you would like to take a closer look. This is high-quality steel and has been recently thoroughly waxed. It should gain any amount of tarnish anytime soon, until I get a chance to smash something that might tarnish it. Maybe. Makes me wish I was ready to go out and hunt boar or something. Part of the brilliance of the design is that, I suppose, strictly speaking, you could probably use this to stop a boar from running down the length. It is, in some ways, a pretty good boar spear. The only problem is that blade is probably not deep enough to anything vital. You'd have to, I don't know, get it in the eye, maybe? I have no experience in boar hunting, just the record. Or hunting at all, if we're being quite. Bug hunting, maybe. But who doesn't have a bit of experience with bug hunting? Software and other things. We have a winner! Look at that. Less so, not quite. Arketer, no. But that panned out quite well. I preferred it in green, but that too can also be fixed later. Text with a fantasy theme reading Arcturus. Test your might, Battle of Spite. That's much better. I like that. Battle of Spite. This would be a Battle of Spite without a doubt. And oh yes, I actually forgot about that. Apparently someone has been strapping jetpacks to boars, but in a game called Satisfactory. It's a mystery. One that may be solved one day. One day. I'm also realizing that it might be worthwhile for me to go ahead and start trying to stream gaming again. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been years since I streamed with Phasmophobia or anything else like that. I'm thinking if I do that though, I should probably dust off the old Twitch account. Not excited about that idea. There's something I don't like about the Twitch. Also, I need to figure out some way to create a proper virtual avatar for myself if I'm going to stream gaming, as I don't like being visible on camera while trying to play a game. It just really chips away at my focus. Oh, there's also Kick now. You don't have a Kick account. Maybe I should look into that. What I'm really thinking is that if I can just cough up a bit more money, I should probably go ahead and buy into Streamlabs and try doing some simultaneous broadcast. Oh, greetings in chat. Okay, we've got Arketer, but do we have Arcturus? No, we have Arketer versus Arcturs. Atker, Arcturus, and Actus. Try again. I know a lot of people really, a lot of artists in particular, hate this software. But one thing that must be noted is that all of it revolves around human choice still. The programs do not generate anything anyone wants until someone decides that what it generated is what you want. And there are further okay, that was close. Sorry, I got distracted by some good generations. Mind you, it's a bit silly to be doing it this way. I should be able to generate text and then pop it on top. But in this case, it's kind of fun watching it try. It's like, you almost had it, you! Arcturus! No, that won't do. But what a good try. See, Arcturus, it's not Arcturus, Acturus. Yeah, it's still not there. One more try, it's not looking good. But that one's so close, it might better generate. Let's try it. Well, some of the AI can't spell. But I don't understand precisely what dictates whether or not it can spell properly. I know there are some models that are really, really good at it. This one's surprisingly competent, which sets it ahead of many of its peers. That time he just got pissy and decided not to try at all. Does it require more space, maybe? Let's try that. Or truss? Nothing. It dawns on me, we're almost out of time. But Nexus Hunter was the one who requested this particular image. If this should amuse you, then when I feel I'm done with it, I'm going to put it to AI Overlord postcards on the Archeter Voluntary Discord server. Is there anyone in the audience right now who does not have access to the Archeter Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server that wants it? Having a presence on Discord? Let me know if so, and we can make that happen. It's still one of the best places to find out exactly what the hell I'm up to at a given time. And hey, you might even find me playing some games with folks. Okay. Worried, but what's gonna happen? Invite incoming. Meanwhile, the generations are complete. Arktros, actors. Well, that would seem to imply that could do the job. One more time, and then I've got one more thing to comment on before I'll be shutting down here. Well, shutting down the show, that is. I'm still been bouncing around for a bit as per my usual schedule. Those of you who know me long enough probably know that schedule. I do try to keep certain routines. And if I put it online, it's okay for you to know it. Because if you put it online, you should assume that. This is something I think a lot of humanity hasn't really caught on to in time. And that's why data mining has been such a lucrative industry for all of the worst agencies. Oh. Arketer. It's a nice try. This is apparently the equivalent of the LM just going, I give up. I just realized it's a mistake. The image of Arketer here dates back to when he had a mustache curly Q set. And he had to lose those. I'll deal with this later. Meanwhile, there's one more thing to address. We are again, as I can see, even up 13 likes, possibly even 14 as per Cog the Boodle. I trust his view more than mine. I don't know why mine is so reliable. I just assume it's a personal attack on me by the nefarious establishment of YouTube in a bitter effort to try to crush the last of my morale and resolve. But I have no idea how stubborn I am. Also, it's probably just some delay somewhere in the software. Probably. Right. If you didn't know, it's also the last day of Pride, or as it might be more honestly referred to, Shameless Month. And oh boy, could I show you all the videos ostensibly proving that.
That's what you
Which isn't this one, it just bears
we've
repeating.
ever had. They can't stand it. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real...
So, as we move on, since it is the end of Pride Month, I thought I'd go to the Babylon Bee article, helping us understand and appreciate the 10 most terrifying examples of LGBTQ people being oppressed in America today. In addition to being allowed to walk down the street naked wearing cartoon character masks at was terribly not an indecent event called the Dyke March. I reposted a video from that. I found it really funny. fact checkers were suggesting that the claim that it was at supposed to be a family-friendly event was false. This was a separate event. I noted that there were no kids in the audience. That's fair enough. But what really stood out is the video of the event. The censor, I don't know if the human was censoring it or the AI was. Either way, they had a hard time, it would seem, telling the boobs from the moobs to the rather unhealthy, flat-looking area where one might typically observe at least pectorals on a healthy male individual. I didn't blame them for being confused. It also stood out to me that if there was anyone there who was reasonably fit and healthy, they were wearing clothes. Maybe one person, by generous standards, was looking okay, stark. I'm not going to tell you what to make of that, but I do think that's telling. As long as veterans only get one day Pride Month pisses you off. Yes, well, no reason it shouldn't. The whole thing's a bit farcical. Look, I don't personally know a gay person who really even wanted this month. My former chef, Henrik, he's not a fan. Gay for days. Man, I miss that guy's cooking. Right, as we weather yet another Pride Month, it can be helpful to remember what pride means and the hardships experienced by members of the LGBTQ community in this country, even now. The Babylon Bee has put together the following list of sobering examples of how LGBTQ people are oppressed in the United States to this very day. 1. There are only 37 parades in their honor per day. Any number of daily parades less than 40 is equal to a slap in the face. 2. There are only represented by 7 characters in every TV show. There'll be no equality as long as movies and television shows only depict 10 times the representation of reality. 3. They are still required to be fully clothed when teaching their elementary school classes. Such bigotry. 4. The Capitol hearing room is now off limits for making sex tapes. Way to ruin it for everyone, creepy congressional staffer guy. 5. They can only get married in Methodist, Lutheran, Episcopal, Presbyterian, Anglican, Unitarian, Baptist, and Quaker churches. Horrible. 6. They live in daily fear of fake hate crimes. Fake assaults happen on every street of every corner of every city. 7. They have only managed to get 75% of Christians fired for their beliefs. As long as any Christians remain employed and unostracized from society, there will be no justice. 8. That one specific baker in Colorado won't bake a wedding cake for them. It doesn't matter that there are hundreds of bakers who will. This guy won't. 9. When they twerk naked in front of children, people say horrible things like, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" and "Whoa, knock it off." The blind hatred of these comments is horrifying. 10. No gay person has been elected president since Barack Obama. Make the White House gay again. Now, let's see what you've posted, Snoopy SM100. Yes, this is acceptable. Liberty, guns, beer, and tits. Truly an acronym I think we could all get around behind. even in front of or behind. Or in the vicinity of, at the very least. Okay, and that about wraps things up here. I would like to thank you all for tuning in. I've enjoyed your company immensely. I hope you've enjoyed mine, and I will be keeping to my schedule. Except for SideQuest, which we're on season break. If you didn't know, SideQuest is on season break until the 16th of July. Just so you know. I know if you show up on the SideQuest server expecting to be a show, and there isn't one, I hope you remember that I told you that. And then you'll feel silly about it. But it's alright. How many people actually listen to each other, especially on the internet? I understand. Until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly.